guess they're talking about this is the Osiris device. Okay, this is the stuff, isn't it? Okay, this, I read you that. It went so fast I couldn't read it. Okay. Okay, this is the wormhole. See, this is space-time over here. And instead of, well, I won't say instead of, what they want to do is pierce, in other words, instead of going around, they want to go from one point to the other in this grid and create a wormhole. And this line over here, this is their accelerator. They're trying to get the energy to produce, to like punch holes in space-time so that they can go from one star to another. I hope they went on pause. Here you see a model of cosmic wormhole that matches with the theory that a shortcut could be opened in certain coordinates of the space to connect two distant points. A huge amount of energy would produce a huge amount of gravitation that could bend the space, forming two light cones interconnected by a space-time tunnel where matter could pass through. And that's what a wormhole is. And the whole issue is matter, and I didn't make that point to you earlier either. This Higgs boson particle, it has the ability to produce mass. So they're not only talking about putting a soul into an inanimate object and bringing it to life. They're talking about actually creating mass anywhere they want, creating a man. They're talking about creation. That's what they're talking about. Energy. Oh, stop. I don't know whether it's this remote that's not working or whether I'm the problem here. Okay. Open in certain coordinates of space. Sorry, some of this is cut off here. They're talking about connecting two distant points. A huge amount of energy would produce a huge amount of gravitation that could bend the space, forming two light cones, I read this already, interconnected by a space-time tunnel where matter could pass. Okay, so this is just another picture of a wormhole. That's a really good picture of a wormhole. It's the best picture I've ever seen. See a spaceship going in here? And here's the tunnel, and you come up over here. We're talking about the microcosm versus the macrocosm. To get from here to here by going into outer space, it would take God only knows how many years. By the time you got back, nobody would be alive that you know. But this way, mass can go through it, not just energy, see? But mass can enter in here and go to another star. So they call it a stargate. Seth is coming out of it. Now Seth, the Egyptian god, his name is Set, S-E-T, but I've been saying for years that this Egyptian god is actually Seth, who turned evil. Seth not being an individual person. Remember when the woman became pregnant by Adam, she said, God has given me another seed, and they called him Seth. Seth was that, well, he became a nation, and all of the sons of God on the other side of the flood were descendants of Seth, but they turned evil, see? So this is the first time I've ever seen the Egyptian god called S-E-T-H, which I believe is the truth, okay? Seth is coming out of it, and it seems that his body is twisted, or warped as it's typically depicted when some or something enters or exits a wormhole. So they're showing a picture on the Egyptian wall. Look at his body. I guess this is the wormhole, and he's coming out of the wormhole. And this is on Egyptian, painted on an Egyptian wall. And it seems that his body is twisted or warped, as is typically depicted when someone comes through a wormhole. Come to stop that. Why is this not working for me? Here it is over here anyway. The boat of million years means light years. The home world of the reptilian intruders is 1,500 light years away in the Horsehead Nebula. So I guess this must be a group of stars that looks like a horse head. The idea, what they're telling you here is that these reptilians are millions of light years away. That they're too far away to get here in the macrocosm. And God did that as part of the Tower of Babel. He's protecting us. But they're trying to punch wormholes in the multiverse so that they can come through and recreate the way it was in the days of Noah, where they ruled over all the worlds, including our world, and ruled over mankind and abused us. Okay, this is like Wikipedia talking about the Horsehead Nebula. The Horsehead Nebula is a dark nebula in the constellation Orion. The nebula is located just to the south of the star Amitak, which is farthest east on the Orion's belt, and it is a part of the much larger Orion molecular cloud complex. Well, I don't think we need to know anymore. It's too technical. But at least we know that the Horsehead Nebula is now in the Orion constellation. It's beautiful, huh? So some people are saying that there's no way we could go to any of these planets because, and I think at one point I was saying the same thing myself, these planets are just a reflection of a spiritual reality. They're just a reflection of another dimension. Text walls inside the CERN building, most of them among other languages, most of them, I guess someone that English was not their first language, that teaches for them. Text walls inside the CERN building, most of them in or among other languages, most of them are in Sanskrit, which is ancient Hinduism, the language of ancient Hinduism. That may not be true, I'm sorry. Why did I say that? It's an ancient language, let me just leave it at that. Sanskrit, language of the ancient gods, not Hindu. And one wall with unknown characters. So they're showing us the walls inside of CERN, and they're saying that there's writing from all different languages there. And so most of the languages are in Sanskrit, which is the language of the ancient gods, and one wall has characters that they can't even identify. This looks like Hebrew over here. This looks like it's some kind of Asian character. I can't tell the difference between Chinese or Japanese or any of the others. So they have all these languages inside That's in case these beings come through, maybe they're going to recognize one of these languages. This looks almost like Arabic down here. Why aren't you stopping? I can't pronounce it. Stargate prophecy, the serpent rope. This must be some other nation. We missed the one before. Let me go back. So these are ancient civilizations that seem to know about this.
The picture on the left, it looks very Aztec.
Aztec? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can't get it to go back. Stargate prophecy called the serpent rope. Look at this. Do you see this over here? They eat you from behind. I don't know if you noticed in the part that was humorous. If you could see that
Device, huh?
what?
Device in the back of his
It
neck.
wasn't a device. It was a living crustacean. Okay. If you saw it, it was sucking at him. If you saw the vibration, it was sucking at him. And again, that's Rabbi Luria's language. That the shells suck on us. They get on your back and they suck on you. So this is either sucking on him or actually consuming him from behind. And this actually looks like feathers to me over here. And this, of course, this is CERN inside. And this is the image on the wall, and this is CERN. Looks very similar. Can you see the similarity?
Yes.
Yeah. And of course this is CERN also. Not the demons there, I don't know. But this circle, this is CERN. It's all over Europe. And there's 4 points. They have different machines, 4 different points. This is the Atlas, I think, which was their biggest machine. And then another one is called Alice. And they're all these are giant computers all connecting with each other on this circuit. So trying to get enough energy to blow a hole, to blow away the wall that Jehovah set up, actually. Wow, that's really, what I find very interesting about that, because that looks like a bird to me. And one of the, Steve Quayle has a new book called The Plume Serpent. What's interesting is that in my recent studies, one of the words that I came across when I look up all the words with our translation of Genesis 1:1 was that one of the creations was a feathered reptile, And Steve Quayle is saying that America is not named for America because of America's Vespucci, which is what we were taught in school years ago anyway. I don't know what they're teaching you today. But he said that that America was named America before Europeans ever got here, and it really is a word that means the land of the plumed serpent. But I have too many books to read now anyway. But that's what he's talking about. So I'm just wondering, I see this, it looks like a bird to me. So what is this showing? Is the man being attacked, or is he just being controlled? What does the image mean? Is he eating him? Well, maybe he's an invisible being that's sucking off of his energy. They want me right here at your brainstem. That's where they attach themselves to. Your brainstem or your spine. Come on, baby. I don't know whether it's this TV or it's the video. I don't have this trouble inside. starting all over again. Oh, that didn't work out too well. We're over here.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved.
A crackhead, drug addict, alcoholic, free, a rich, like me.
I once was
Homeless.
broken, sad,
Just lost.
But now I am.
Sober.
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
Please, everyone, calm yourselves down. Thank you very much. Today, we at the Large Hadron Collider are celebrating a one-year anniversary of a quaint, simple dream. A city-sized electromagnet and an... But I can assure you that everything is completely...
I think in the future we're really better off with a computer because I just don't have the control over here. It doesn't let me fast forward. It's too much trouble.
I have my laptop. I'm getting it set up if you want
Okay,
to
yeah,
plug it in with
yeah.
the HDMI.
If I had to pick one of these to pick up in game right now, it's going to be Steel Series.
Let's just say, it was a great night. Take the challenge.
I wonder if, maybe it's just the Roku box because I can fast forward inside, but for today, let's just do this. I'm gonna just shut this off. Because if it's just the Roku box, we'll get another Roku box. So one of you take my Roku box and put it in here, and we'll see if we can fast forward. Separate.
And then set this up for me.
The bottom of the legs are not the
Well, it says so on that post before the hard to read. I didn't see anything.
Now, how do we get the link though? I have to email it to you.
I have it all set up. I have it in your watch later.
Oh, okay.
So, video. And all the videos are on the side here.
So what are you going to do? Control the... I don't understand what you did there.
How do you play it?
You mean you're going to, instead of using this remote, you're going to control it from the computer? Is that
Yeah.
it? Okay. Let me see if I can-
I'm just giving
Well, if that's the case, then it's the Roku box. We'll have to get the better model with the Roku box. Okay. I don't know whether it was the TV or not. Okay. We have sound.
You have. Sound should come through the computer, right? Or not the computer, but the TV.
That has to be controlled from your computer. Let me take a look here. Yep, it's coming through the same center. Okay. So you don't have to do any testing. It's the Roku box. We'll get the latest model. Oops. Okay, that's where we were. Okay. Okay, what is this? And that's just, these are just pictures of the inside of CERN. Octagon, the 8-ray star, is the reptilian symbol of hegemony over the Earth. They're showing you that the architecture of CERN is the 8-sided, it's typifying a star, and they're just showing their power over the Earth. Okay, there's the statue of Shiva, and you see she's always dancing. I believe it's a female. And actually, someone actually got inside of CERN and took pictures of the staff doing a dance with their leg up just like that. So that's their form of worship and of invoking the spirit. A statue of the Hindu god Shiva, the destroyer of worlds, right in front of the CERN building, European Center for Research in Particle Physics in Geneva. It's right in Geneva. And I recently came across a video where they were saying that there's great evil going on in Switzerland these days. You know, I listen to everything I hear, and I just, wait for the Lord to quicken it to me. So here's another witness that there's great evil going on in Switzerland today. And that, not only today, but that's why they were not really involved in World War I or World War II. Switzerland was not touched because of the evil power that emanates from there. I don't really know what that is, but obviously it's the same style that the CERN was built upon. These look very oriental to me. Or maybe they're all Hindu, and there she is right in the midst of it. And please note she has more than 2 arms. She's an intelligent insect. See one here, 1, 2, 3, and 2 legs. There should be another arm somewhere. Usually she's shown with 6 appendages. Years ago, I preached on that she's an intelligent insect. And I actually heard Steve Quayle preaching on that the other night. He said that some of these entities are intelligent insects. The weapon of Shiva, the destroyer, is a trident. Now what's really, oh come on, stop. Why is it going to stop when I stop it? What's really interesting about that is that there used to be a diner on Old Town Road in 347, owned by, well, almost all the diners are owned by Greeks, I think. And for some reason, well, he turned evil. He turned evil in And one day years ago, when Hazel was still alive, the Lord sent us out there, and we saw that he was dealing in homosexual prostitution right there in front of my eyes. I was completely shocked. So we prayed against it, and the whole diner burned down and never rose again. It took years. It happened years later, but that's just the truth. We didn't know why we were going there. The Lord sent us there, and we saw this arrangement right in front of us. And anyway, but in the last days of that diner, he put a trident. He put a statue of the Greek god. I thought it was Poseidon with a trident outside, right on facing 347, and then the whole diner shut down and never rose again. So we see here that the trident, the three-pronged weapon, I didn't know that, is the weapon of Shiva. I didn't know that either. And there it is over there. I've never seen anything like that before. Small trident. WTC, World Trade Center Memorial. Is that in New York? But they're just controlling everything. And this monster symbol, this is the latest thing. Look for it in the supermarkets there. It's monster, some kind of that they're selling. I saw it I saw it exposed by a Christian on TV, and then I saw it in Uncle Giuseppe's. They're advertising something that people would buy. I don't remember what it is.
It's an energy drink.
An energy drink.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everywhere, brother. We are prepared, and now we strike. That's what we're saying.
Until they get so big they can barely move. Then we walk out of the shadows. Quietly walk out of the dark. And strike.
I have a child saying that. What is this? This is, I don't know who this man is. Director of CERN. Look at that nice, sweet smile on his face. Huh?
Aber Physiker bedeutet nicht automatisch maschinenartig oder unemotional.
Also ich möchte nochmal betonen,
Physicists are normal human beings like you and me. That's what he's saying, and they're going to try and tell you that he's I don't know that they're distinguishing between another entity or who's dressed in the flesh or an entity who's a son who has birthed their child. They're not distinguishing between the two, but they're going to try and show you that his eyes are not normal. I've never been able to see this, but that's what they're trying to do anyway.
Physiker sind normale Menschen, ja, die sie
They're going to say, look at his eyes. I can't see it personally. Well, there you can see it now, if it's not photoshopped. His pupils were vertical. Humans like you and me. I agree with the like you and me part. Interviewer is a reptile. Interviewer is a reptile as well. But the human part obviously is false. Nothing human about slit pupils. There it is.
Ja, also und Fuß.
If it wasn't photoshopped, it should.
Ein Torwarte wie Sie.
Ja, genau, aber
Ja, ein Torwarte wie Sie.
ja, genau, aber
Ja.
Oh, look at that.
There it is. If it's not photoshopped, there it is.
Look at the line right there.
wenn man den Wert der Arbeit anschaut, wenn man den Wert der Arbeit anschaut, wenn man den Wert der Arbeit anschaut.
Did your eyes just blink sideways?
Yes, his eyes just blinked sideways. As a matter of fact, they absolutely did. I didn't see that.
Elektron.
Zurzeit das Proton.
Das Proton, ne?
Shapeshifted in front of him, turned into a reptile, and then came back to human, and then
Because it was, his pupil was round before it turned.
shifted again and returned.
They've already got their advanced operatives in cloned bodysuits. They're biomechanical aliens.
Sie möchten doch auch diverse Dinge verstehen. Das heute. Da fragen Sie mich. Morgen fragen Sie jemand anders. Das sind wieder andere Gebiete. Also bei uns jedes Mal bei Ihnen ist es die Tiefe. Bei uns ist es mehr die Tiefe natürlich.
Yes, an interviewer is an alien also listening.
Wichtiges. Aber warum hat das so eine... Aber warum hat das so eine... Aber warum hat das... Ja? Was bei der... Ja? Was bei der... Die wird nie gestellt, ja. Kommt es, die wird nie gestellt, ja.
They're suggesting his tongue is shooting out, like the serpents.
Er kommt da so. Er kommt da so.
Interesting.
Die Physik.
Tänzer hatten Sie auch.
Da haben wir jetzt auch Choreografen und
Stellt man sich lustig vor, wie so Balletttänzer auf einmal dann.
aber es ist toll.
Also in unserer
Masse.
Good morning and welcome to the runway transit system.
Just one of those days, I guess. Gordon, we have complete confidence in you.
Well, Gordon, we cannot predict how long the system can operate at this level. Gordon, you're what we're repeating the climate shutdown. It's not. What should I do?
this playing on your computer?
Yeah, you can skip the ad. I think it's I wonder if it just went right to the
I
next
guess I
video.
don't understand what you
If
did.
Freemason takes
It's
the
in a
Mark
playlist.
Master degree,
You
will
got
be
Roku
asked
on
to
your
create his
computer?
own
You'll
Mason's
tell me
mark.
that later.
Yeah.
It's a type of, quote, unique signature or identifying badge. Some of these can be quite elaborate. Typically, they all end up looking something similar to this or something like this. That's just an idea. But as you can see here, runes. Runes are magical symbols that have been created in ancient times. And they use them quite a bit through symbology, or even through some of their mythical or magical things that they do. This is from the making of the movie Symmetry. The Symmetry MM, or Master Mason. We were wondering what this means. Mark Master, Mark Man. The reason why is because of this strange symbol here. I mean, obviously it could just mean an X marks the spot or something, but as you can see the little hooks on it means something else.
There should have been one before this.
Here you go. The MM. Right in the middle of Symmetry. Flip one M upside down and it makes MW. It can mean megawatts, men and women, or as above, so below. The Creator's Project. A story about music, dance, and the origins of the cosmos. Searching for the equilibrium between art and science. These are from the people who made the movie Symmetry. And notice how it says the Creator's Project. No, that's incorrect because there is one Creator. But mankind is typically, or not typically, is trying to call themselves the creators. In ancient Egypt, there was no separation of art and science. This is where it's all been done before, I'm telling you. There was no science without art, and no art without science, such as made up in the ancient mystery schools, which nobody really knows all that much about, because they still have the books. They are hidden. Clearly, because they use it against you and I. Okay, moving on from this one. This is again from Symmetry. A very strange thing to do at CERN. Because again, the dance of Shiva, the destroyer. This is the same dance that is portrayed in Pt.1.2 with 5 characters shown in the next slide. I'll show you, don't worry. According to, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, I apologize in advance, Kumarswamev, I have no idea. The dance of Shiva also represents his 5 activities. Shritsi, creation, evolution. Shiti, stithi, I don't know. Preservation, support, samara, destruction, evolution. Tirobhava, the illusion, and anguhara, release, emancipation, or grace. This is Pt.1.2. They're doing the dance. All 5 of them. This is called the Dance of Bliss and symbolizes the cosmic cycles of creation and destruction, as well as the daily rhythm of birth and death. Why am I telling you this? Because this is being portrayed at CERN. What do you think they're doing? They know exactly what they are doing. Obviously not some of the low-level scientists or the people operating machines, they might not know. But the people on the higher levels of the agenda, they know exactly what they're doing. I want to state something else before we go on to the last couple slides here. If this is the actual one, you probably won't even hear about it in the news. You know why? You'll be too distracted with war, unrest, because this stuff can't circulate on the internet of what they found. It's just like the ancient Egyptian magic in the books, their findings, what they've recreated. You won't see it. You have to believe and have faith in Jesus Christ to understand what is truly being shown, what is truly taking place right now. In iPet Goat, when the dancing ritual is over, the Antichrist is born on earth.
I just want to tell you this iPet Goat is talking about a short film that won all kinds of awards. That I watched it, and it is so satanic. And in this film, if we have time, I don't know if we have time. If you're interested, I'll show it to you. There are several Christians online that are analyzing the symbols in this video, and there is a symbol of the, in my opinion, of the rape of the church, which nobody recognized because they don't see it. But it was the rape of the church, and they depicted the church as a hag, an old woman with an old woman witch with a very hooked nose, a typical hag, and she was a virgin. The rape of an old woman who was still a virgin, and I just know it was the rape of the church. And what it's saying is that the church never got married. The church never married Jesus and never produced the child. So she was and she's old because they think that her time is over and the new age is coming, and she's turned to witchcraft, but still a virgin. And they raped her. She was raped in that condition, I assume by the gods of the new age. And it was so shocking to me that when I saw, I just watched this video, and then I looked up iPet Goat to see what he was talking about. And the name of the movie is Pet Goat. Well, what kind of a name is that? Because you know what it really means. I am a pet goat. So anybody watching it is getting all of the curses and the mind control that is going to make them into a pet goat of these powers. And that's the name of the movie, Pet Goat. What kind of a word is that? It means I am a pet goat. They left the AM out. And this is the Antichrist that comes forth to replace Christ in that video. And that's what he's talking about. And it won every award. It is prophesying the destruction of our whole civilization, certainly in America. And it won every award that could be given.
Earth. This is their depiction. They've shown us. They've done their part. They've shown us before they do it. That's the law. They have to do that.
You see the Christ in this course.
And as you can see, as the Antichrist comes forward, the destruction of the church. Their belief, not mine. I want to leave you with this question. Is what they're showing right here, is CERN in the iPet Goat? Did they show us before? Because as you can see with all of this, they're very symbolic down to the T. They cross their T's and dot their I's. They've shown that through everything. Now, this is a 50-minute video, and this doesn't go into the absolute detail of literally everything. This video is meant to get you started on your research. If you didn't understand what CERN is, I hope I did my job, and I hope that I got you guys to understand exactly what they're attempting to do. And again, let me state a couple things here, and then I'm going to finish it out with a couple quotes from them. You might not see what takes place at CERN. And I tell you this in the worst way, because they will keep every person distracted if they have done what they need to do at CERN. You can expect a world war to cover it. And you can expect Geneva won't be destroyed, where CERN is located. The reason why is because they're going to do one thing. Bring order out of chaos. And that's what they're looking for, is the fundamental chaos. The order out of chaos. Let me leave you with these two quotes. And I really do hope that I've done a good job.
I don't think we saw the beginning of this. I think it picks up, it's supposed to be a 50-minute video, it picks up in the middle. What he's saying is that they intend to bring complete chaos into the world so that the Antichrist can rise up and everybody will say, save us, save us. And they'll bring order out of the chaos, but it will be their order, and this world's order will have been destroyed. I want to go back to the beginning before this ends. I'll just play a few more words because I think we missed the whole beginning of it.
It's a YouTube video, so you can just go right to the
Yeah.
beginning if you want.
And this was the next one in order. I didn't recognize it at first.
The first place I want to start is March 23rd, 2015. That day will most likely just come and go, because there is no imminent doom right now. Let's go ahead and get rid of that fear-mongering BS real quick before we get into this, because if you can't overcome the imminent doom feeling, then you'll never understand what CERN truly is. CERN can be summed up in a few words or in one word. In my definition, it sums up into manifestation. The manifestation of evil on earth. It's hard to fully understand how I've gotten to this conclusion. It's hard for me to even go back over all this information and refine that conclusion, because it is so much research. And that's why the first thing I want to state again is that this is just going to be a video out of a series, or an article out of a series, because it's too much for one video, it's too much for one article. This is something so massive that they can literally change the future of mankind. If you've watched some of the CERN videos of where they do the little interviews on TV, if you've watched, I mean, it took a lot longer than the video length for me to even get all the information that they were spewing. Because if you watch that video, towards the end you can kind of see through their emotions, because I analyzed their body movement and I analyzed how they said things, or how they answered questions, or how they how they gave their comments. And this was only from watching one of the interviews that they did, which was on March 12th. It was one of the videos yesterday. One of the webcasts, I should say. They're hiding something. And that's something I'm going to attempt to explain in all of this. They're telling the public one answer while they're hiding the truth. And in fact, don't even take my word for it. If you're on the website, freedomfighterreports.com, I'm going to direct you to this article. If you are not on the website right now, go to the description box below this video and click on the article. And you can either do a Control F or a find to find this quote of what I'm going to read to you next. So what is CERN? Why are we doing it? This is their quote. Why are we doing it? One answer is what we tell people. The other answer is the truth. Seek ye the truth, and the truth will set ye free. For those of you who are Christian, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you'll notice this image, the first thing I'm going to point out is that we often hear about how Satan eats its own tail, the serpent that eats its own tail. Many pictures can be depicted as a ring with a red dragon, or a dragon eating its own tail. That is a depiction of Satan. So what is CERN? I'm going to give you little notes on exactly what it is, or according to them, I should say. It's a 17-mile underground ring. They run protons around the ring, and to build speed, it does take quite a bit of time. That's why in the beginning of this video, I told you that you've got to lose the imminent doom feeling, because March 23rd may come and pass and nothing has happened. There's a reason for that. Because the actual collision could potentially take place this time, June, the end of the year, 2016, 17, or 18. This is how they're doing things. It takes time. However, with the timing and space, everything is pointing to right now that they will get it right. There's a lot of factors, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong. The biggest factor is if God allows it. Let's continue. 4 points are 4 different experiments, which, before I go any further about these 4 different experiments, these 4 different experiments here, those are the ones that we've really done our research on. The other ones, well, there's an entire list. See, they're only showing you parts and bits and pieces, what they think the populace can understand. Because we're supposed to be stupid, obese, and asleep. But really, if you start paying attention, this stuff should not be allowed. The four main experiments, Atlas, Alice, LHCb, and CMS, which you can see on the screen here. 0.6, 0.3, which is kind of funny because that's the date they really did the injection tests, which, as well as their logo, which is 666, that date equals 666. Now, before we go any further about the four tests, and before I show you the list of their tests, I want to tell you something. Roughly 2 weeks ago, I said that CERN was going to be done on the 20th or the 23rd, in between those dates. A lot of people were saying, no, it'll be done on the 13th through the 15th. Let me tell you why that's not possible. Scientists are factual. Everything is precise, done at the exact moment, at the exact time. Why is March 20th the day of the solar eclipse, and it so happens to be that the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, around those 3 dates, because they don't really know when it is the spring equinox? Obviously they do. We just don't know, because they don't tell us the truth. Now you'll see something in the next few portions of this video that you're going to notice that they coincide with dates. I don't set dates. These are their dates. I'm showing you their dates to the best of my ability. There is no guarantee that something will happen on those dates, but there is a possibility. And this is something that I have felt strongly about, that this is one of the biggest things in our lifetime that we must protest, rebuke, and keep watching it. Because, as the one word that can describe this is manifestation. Taking matter, taking the glue that makes matter, that sticks matter together, which is called the Higgs boson. As promised, I didn't even know this existed. This is called the CERN directory. This was sent to me on YouTube, and I was so grateful I got it. Because I didn't even know this existed just until a few hours ago. And this is to the magnitude of what they're doing. Departments, groups and units, experiments and projects, all these different types of projects. What are they? You see how massive CERN actually is? It's not just something where their scientists have gone mad and they're running around with protons screaming, we found the cure to the Big Bang, or we found the Big Bang, or whatever it is that they've been yelling about on mainstream media. Okay, so jumping back to the slides, their goal is to make a particle collision and analyze the data. Why are we doing it? I just read you this quote earlier. I want to say it one more time. Why are we doing it? One answer is what we tell people. The other answer is the truth. Let's move on. I want you to remember that quote throughout the entirety of this video, because what you're currently looking at, as you can see in the beginning of it, is on the right side, at the bottom right side, is the modern universe, what we currently live in. What CERN, what the LHC is attempting to do, is reach back in time to when there was absolutely nothing, darkness, and recreate take particles from the Big Bang. This is obviously, to me, it's stupid. Because first off, why in the world would you want to recreate the Big Bang?
Because at the initiation of the universe, at the Big Bang, there was a monumental amount of energy. There was more than enough energy to bring the whole creation into existence. What they're looking for is power. And they're looking for power. So we're over here right now. Oh, come on, what did I do? We're over here right now. They're trying to go into other dimensions to get all the way back over here at the beginning of the creation of the universe. For years, I was aware that there are certain words that I was finding in my studies that refer to great heat.
The Big Bang.
Great heat. And I said, well, what does... What did I do? Did I do that? I guess I did it. I said, well, what is this with great heat? Well, there was great heat when the universe first exploded. They want the energy from the beginning of times. Now, let me see if I can get this back. I don't know what I did here. First of all, we'll do this. This is what you...
Sailing through the heart of cities and landscapes with Viking, you'll see things different.
This is obviously, I mean, to me, it's stupid. Because first off, why in the world would you want to recreate the Big Bang on Earth? The Big Bang Theory, let's take God out of it for a moment here. That's what I meant to say that before I said the other thing, but let's take God out of the picture here for a minute.
They want
Why would you
creative
want to
power.
recreate the Big Bang that supposedly started everything? Obviously, they're scientists and they can't really fathom
They want creative power.
that God exists because they can't prove it. Woo. The question is, this is the lead scientist, Rolf Heuer. I want to see the first light in the dark universe, and they won't stop looking. We won't stop looking is what he said, direct quote. They're
Catch that, dark universe. Not the universe of God, the dark universe. They want to see the first light. They want to see the Creator, and they want the power of the Creator. They're looking for Lucifer. They want to come together with their God so that they will be, that they will produce the offspring and enter into immortality. So I just thought of something for the elite to make that movie I Go, for them to show the rape of the church like that. They have to realize that the church is capable of producing a spiritual offspring, just like they have. And they know that the church is old and is into witchcraft and has not produced the child. But they're going to rape her, and there was no sign of her producing their child. She was just laying there. That's what the end of that was. They seem to have all of this knowledge. It's just mind-boggling. I don't know why it's mind-boggling to me. Must be some kind of pride. They have all of this knowledge, and God only knows what they know that the Lord hasn't shown us yet. They have all of this knowledge on the other side.
looking for new particles and supersymmetry. They're going back in time to the Big Bang, exploration of the expansion of the universe backwards in time using general relativity yields and infinite density and temperature as a finite time in the past. Just after